What's up, YouTube? So I just wanted to point out real quick that there's no shortage of videos out there about the temptations of Yeshua. The reason I wanted to throw this together was basically for the purpose of attempting to provoke thought, okay? To just sort of offer a different alternative to how we may look at these areas of Scripture. I don't think we're doing it justice. I think typically the typical Christian view is just that the Jesus is God, and so therefore the devil comes along to tempt him, and since he's God, it's just really it's no contest. It's of course he's going to overcome the temptations because he's God, and that's just it, and people don't pay it any more mind. But the reality of the situation is if he was not able to succumb to the temptation, then you can't really call it a temptation. If he was not really able to succumb to the temptation, then you can't say that he has truly succeeded where Adam failed, because it wouldn't be right if he was able to, if he was not tested in the same way that Adam was. And to say, well, Adam was human, Jesus is God, therefore, that's why he overcomes the temptations and all that kind of stuff. Really, like I said, it's not really doing justice to the story. It doesn't really show us why this is there. And so, a couple of things I want to say real quick. This video is done from the perspective, my mindset, it's not directly stated in the video, but my mindset in creating this way. Okay, I took a little bit of a little bit of creative license here. I did add a dramatic tone to the video as well, but this is done from, I don't hold to the perspective, and I'm not sure, maybe you've never thought about this before, but the idea that, Jesus was young, Jesus is doing miracles. I mean, we're given one story about him during his youth where he ends up in the temple at 12 years old, and he's basically in there giving some lectures on some commentary on the Tanakh, apparently. But other than that, we're not really told anything about his youth, and so the idea that Jesus just always performing miracles, this, that, and the other, all that kind of stuff. Really, if I recall correctly, I believe I've learned before, or read that somewhere before, that like what you see in the movies, like the young Jesus and all that kind of stuff, those are really Islamic beliefs. They're not found in the Bible anywhere. And so this video is kind of done from that perspective, that up until this point in Yeshua's life, he has never performed any kind of just blatant miracle. And this is also after, his immersion. And that was not a case of, Yeshua or, Jesus went down to the local First Baptist church and he met with John the pastor, and, John, told him to accept Christ into his heart and gave him a baptism. Like, that's not the context at all. Aside from anything else that we can deduce from it, if anything, it was a kingly coronation, okay? It had all the factors of a kingly coronation. Number one, it was done by a body of water. Number two, he was anointed to an extent by a priest, or, we'll say there was a priest or a prophet was present. He was anointed in the sense that what the oil that's poured on the king of Israel's head symbolizes, which is the Spirit of God, literally came down in the bodily form like a dove and rested upon him. And we also have the heavenly proclamation of, this is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased. But the idea of God referring to him, this is my son. This is a reference back to the Psalms, which is it was something that is said of the king of Israel. So this is a kingly coronation. There was a miraculous event that took place, and now Yeshua is driven out into the wilderness And here he is. And that is why, and on a side note here, I also hold to the perspective that, Jesus wasn't performing miracles and all that kind of stuff when he was young and, all this, but he actually had to learn who he was through the scriptures. Okay. He had to learn. Obviously there would be external sources. His mother probably told him the story about, like, this is how you came about. This is, I was visited by this angel, all that kind of stuff. But the reality of the situation is he would have had to have learned who he was through the scriptures in combination with the inspiration of the Ruach HaKodesh. And so that brings us into the wilderness. And that's why one of the first things that the devil says to him is, if you're the Son of God, like, are you really are you sure you're that guy? Really? Is it you? Maybe the devil himself was trying to find out. But anyways, whatever the case may be, I just put this together to sort of offer, and there may be complete other reasons that these were temptations. I'm not saying this is the end all be all. All I'm saying is I'm proposing some ideas here that allow us to just kind of open our minds a little bit and think about this from the perspective of how this could have, this was really a temptation. This was something that Yeshua, had to think about, had to overcome. It's something that he could have succumbed to. Otherwise, it would not have been considered a test. So without further ado, I will get to the video now. And as always, thank you for your time.
The Spirit drove him there, into the great silence, to find the still small voice. 40 days the sun beat upon the stone, and 40 nights the frost crept through the canyons. No bird sang, no water flowed, only the wind, howling through the ribs of the earth. He was hungry, he was alone, and in that hollow place where the soul is stripped bare, the shadow found its moment to speak.
If you are the Son of God, then command these stones to become bread.
As he sits, hungry, he contemplates and remembers the stories his mother told him, of angels, of purpose, of promise. He remembers the whispers, too, the doubts, the rumors, being called a mamzer, and now a single miracle could silence them all. A single act could prove everything, even to himself. Not without a desire to see the fruit of the promises, he remembers there is a season for everything, and he will wait for his Father's timing.
Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God.
The devil takes him to the top of the temple.
If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, He will command His angels concerning you.
This miracle would not just prove it to himself. It would prove it to everyone. His family honor restored, every rumor crushed, every doubt erased.
It's true, he really is the Son of God.
He puts those thoughts away and remembers the things written about what he must do, that this is not the way.
It is written, you shall not put the Lord your God to the test.
Next, the devil takes him up into a high mountain and shows him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time.
All this authority, all this glory, I will give to you. Just bow down before me.
For a moment he sees it, the world restored, every knee bowed, every kingdom united under his reign. The devil offers power, but only under his dominion, a throne beneath another throne, a kingdom. that would never be his, a mission that would end in defeat. Realizing the trap, he cries out,
Get away, Satan! It is written, You shall worship the Lord your God, and only him shall you serve.
The devil flees for a season and angels come to minister to him.